This is what makes you a man. When I was growing up, this was all the protection we needed. You win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day. And you think you're a man with that gun in your hand, don't you?
I'm a man without it.
Put the gun down. Come on, put up your dukes. Now you're a man.
Sometimes I have to keep this brave face on for everyone else around so no one else panics and I preserve everyone else's peace, even if that is at the cost of my own. But that's just the territory. And to me, that's the traditional value of a man, which is, hey, take on the weight of the world for everyone because you love them. You would rather risk and give up your own peace to make sure that your wife, your family, your kids, your mother, they all get to keep theirs. At the end of the day, it's very simple. It's a provider and it's a protector.
I've identified 5 points that I think make a truly masculine man masculine.
Okay.
I think point number 1 is a man who walks with God. Point number 2 is a man who stands on principle. Point number 3, which is a masculine man, is self-sacrificing. So someone who is willing to sacrifice for point 4, the people that he leads. A true man is a leader. And number 5, a masculine man is never a coward.
If you are a real man, you want to provide for your family. That's what men do when you have a family. Any man, when you have a concern as to how you're going to pay your bills,
Scary time.
there is nothing worse.
What do you say to young men who come to you for advice, who feel lost, who don't really know where they fit into society?
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible. And I need to work hard to achieve those things.
My grandfather walked 10 miles to work every day. My father walked 5. I'm driving a Cadillac. My son is in a Mercedes. Said my grandson will be in a Ferrari. But he said my great-grandson will be walking again. So I asked him, I said, well, why is that? And he said to me, tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. He said to me, many will not understand, but you have to raise warriors.
If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre, be normal, and fit in. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage?
A lot of people can give up. It's easy to give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going. I don't feel like going to work. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now go out there and show me how you do things. Show me how you live. Show me how you fight.
We show you how I fight?
Yeah. Show me who the f you are.
Always go to something bigger than yourself. I'm wondering if you've been defeated because you have been giving yourself wholly to something that was too small to hold you. Have you thrust yourself into a glass of water?
Yes, sir.
Have you leaped off the diving board into a cereal bowl person? Are you not guilty of immersing yourself into things that were too small to hold your vision?
Did you know that only 1% of people are naturally extraordinarily gifted at something? Less than 1% actually. Think genius, think savant. Do you know what that means for us, the other 99+% of people? If we're going to do anything great in this life, it is going to require discipline. That's the truth. It is going to require you pushing through the discomfort and embracing the grind.
What is a man? A man is his heart. A lying, cheating heart means a lying, cheating man. A loving, merciful heart means a loving, merciful man. A living heart means a living man. A dead heart means a dead man. Regardless to man's title, regardless to man's wealth, rank, or position, if the heart is not great, then he cannot be great. But if the heart is great, that man remains great under all circumstances, rich or poor, large or small. So it is the heart that makes one large or small.
I said this to somebody the other day. They were talking about how they feel, and I said, who cares how you feel? And he goes, well, what do you mean? Well, I don't care. You're telling me I know you, and I don't care. All the people who don't know you don't care. The woman you want doesn't care. You can't go up to a chick at a bar and say, you know what? Usually I'm really charming. Today I'm a bit sad. Can you give me a pass? Can you let me off? The job you're supposed to perform at doesn't care. If the man decides to pull a machete, he doesn't care. You can't say, bro, I'm not in the mood for a fight today. Tomorrow, please. Nobody cares. So why do you care? Because you're going to walk around feeling sorry for yourself, trying to find somebody who cares. You might find somebody who pretends to care long enough for you to get a little bit of dopamine. But all in all, you're wasting time. Well, people like me who perform regardless of how they feel are just going to perpetually bury you. And then you're going to sit there and wake up and go, why am I a loser? You're not allowed almost as a man to put that much importance on how you feel. You don't have time to care about it because you have too much to do. If I feel sad, I don't think, how do I stop myself? I need to not feel sad. I just go to work. I got stuff to do. I'm a man.
Be a good man, don't be a nice guy. And what that meant in our world was, hey man, when you're confronted with something where you need to fit in and do something that's against your character and your values and beliefs, you don't need to be a nice guy. You need to be a good man, right? Something comes up, you need to stand up for something that you believe in. Be a good man, don't be a nice guy.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career.
How come you ain't never liked me? What law is there say I got to like you? None. All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day? Yes, sir. Got a roof over your head? Yes, sir. Got clothes on your back? Yes, sir. Why you think that is? Because of you? Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is? Because you like me? Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. I ain't got to like you. Now don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you.
One day in the gym is basically imperceivable. 2 days in the gym, you don't recognize any change whatsoever. 100 days in the gym, and you're almost a new person. One day of playing guitar, you can barely play one chord. 100 days of practicing guitar, and you can play literally almost any song. When you do anything, it adds up. When you do nothing, it amounts to zero. So take the small steps every day. Do what you're supposed to do, and don't expect some incredible results in 1 day or 2 days or 10 days. Worthwhile things take 100 days. They take 500 days. Maybe they take 5,000 days. They take time. And whatever it is you want to do isn't going to happen in 1 day. You have work to do.
A person's character is not judged when they ride the wave of success, when everyone chants their name and you want to be their friend. No, your character is put to the test when your back is against the wall. Failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up and I am fired up because I have figured it out. And I can stay down or I can get my ass up, and I'm in the getting up business.
There are 4 things you need to know before you go out into the world. You remember these things and you'll be the best person you can be. First, look at this pencil. We know that in order for it to become a useful pencil, that from time to time, again and again, it's going to have to go through a resharpening. Well, if this pencil could feel, we can imagine how painful that would be. But that's what it takes for it to be a useful pencil. Life is much the same. Painful experiences and challenges come to us all. But it is through these opportunities that we build character and we grow. Second is to keep in mind that we'll be able to correct many of the mistakes you make along the way, just like this eraser. If we learn from our mistakes, they're not mistakes. They're lessons we can use to do better the next time around. And third, just like this pencil, every place where you are used, so to speak, you leave your mark. You're writing your own story. Think of stumbling blocks as stepping stones and never stop writing. And fourth, always remember the most important part of you is what's inside.
You gotta shut off technology. Yeah, I go here. I call it the dark room, where you're alone. No cell phones, no music, no TVs, no computers. You by yourself. Very few people want to be alone anymore. They want to be around noise and people, and you can't think. Be alone. Go to that dark space. In that dark space, shut life off for a little bit. Go to a dark place in your mind and figure out what the you want to be.
The superpower of learning to be alone and enjoying it. Well, I think it's critical, and I do think that these times where you just think about things, just be alone and think about things, are so rare these days. And I think during those rare times is when you really get to understand what you actually believe or don't believe.
What is it that it means to be a man? There's no narrative there. What is it that I'm supposed to do with my life? There's no narrative. So I think we've got to go back to and recover those narratives. And that's why I try to recover some of the symbolism of Genesis. You know, what is it a man is called to do? It's called to make the wilderness into a garden, right? To expand that garden. God makes a garden. The rest of the world is wilderness. What's Adam there in the garden to do? He's there to expand the garden into the wilderness. There's something profound there about what it means to be a man. And you talk about a high calling, because really what God does in Genesis is he gives his work to Adam. He says, all right, I've created the world. Now I've created a garden in the midst of the wilderness. Now, Adam, you follow my example. You take this garden, you expand it. You use your responsibility, you use your authority, you use your strength, and you expand it into all the world. And my conviction is men need to hear that story.